Welcome to episode 8 of Redeeming Bad Movies, Redeeming Junior. If this is your first time listening, then thank you for joining me, Ronnie Obenhaus, as I look at movies that have been left behind. Quick caveat, I am not a professional critic. I just enjoy movies. A lot. Like it's probably unhealthy. Every time I read or hear a review, it's just always so negative. So I thought I'd bring some positivity and make you question why a movie was rated so low. I'll be talking about the ones that have an IMDb rating of 4.9 or lower, because I had to cut it off somewhere. I redeem movies every Tuesday, so make sure to follow me on Twitter at RedeemBadMovies so you know when the next episode's posted. You can subscribe to the podcast or visit RedeemingBadMovies.com. All links are in the show notes, including Facebook and YouTube. Now, let's do this. Alright. So this episode is directed by Ivan Reitman. It came out in 1994. Has an IMDb rating of 4.6. Okay, first of all, 4.6. Really? I mean, okay. Arnold, pregnant. 1994, height of his career. That is ridiculous. Okay, so I can see how some people might have thought that this was going to be Twins Part 2 or something. But I mean, man, you have a very funny movie here. So Ivan Reitman, let's get into him, right? So he directed Meatballs, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Twins, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, and then the movie Dave. Those are just the movies he directed up to that point. Then he goes on to direct Father's Day, 6 Days, 7 Nights, Evolution, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, No Strings Attached, Draft Day. Yeah, this guy directs, right? I mean, holy crap. Opening scene of the movie, Arnold, library. Very reminiscent of Ghostbusters. In fact, when the movie first came on, you get a Ghostbusters feel. God, it's good. Arnold, up to that point, Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, Terminator, Red Sonja, Commando, Raw Deal, Predator, Running Man, Red Heat, Twins. First time he breaks from the usual character. How many movies did he do where you just know, hey, that's Arnold, right? Twins, boom, first time he breaks from the usual character. And then he goes back, Total Recall. Then Kindergarten Cop, that, I don't know, Twins I feel should get the most credit for really breaking him into comedy. But Kindergarten Cop did a really good job of humanizing him, right? He was always larger than life. Kindergarten Cop kind of humanizes him. But it still had action, right? So all of these movies still have action. Remember, Twins has where he's Julius, right? He's just larger than life. So then, after Kindergarten Cop, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, True Lies. Then he goes on and does the movie Junior. First movie he's done where he has no action whatsoever. I mean, he's pregnant, right? Of course he's not going to have action. But so maybe, we can say that the movie's rated a 4.6. It came out on November 23rd, 1994, right? So it had to compete with The Santa Claus that came out on November 11th, Interview with the Vampire that came out on the 11th, Miracle on 34th Street came out on the 18th, Star Trek Generations came out on the 18th, and if you remember when it came out, everybody was clamoring to see it because it was, Kirk and Picard were going to meet. So it had all the original series movies up to that point, and then 7 years of Next Generation. Everybody wanted to see these two captains meet. So that had come out on the 18th. And then, and this movie came out on the 23rd. It had a budget of $60 million. In the United States, it made about $38 million, right? But Arnold had huge international appeal, and they ended up making like over $70 million overseas. So the movie brought in like $108 million. But if the movie was budgeted for $60 million, especially on a picture with Arnold, you're going to spend about that same amount on marketing. So you're looking at 120. So, did this film lose money? I don't know. I mean, without knowing exactly how much money they spent on marketing, we just don't know. It's a very, very funny movie. This Arnold and Danny DeVito reunited. Reunited after Twins. This movie was 6 years after Twins. So they hadn't been together in that long, but I mean just fell right back into character. Just super charming. They have great chemistry together. So in the movie, obviously we know Arnold Schwarzenegger. He plays Dr. Alex Hess. Then we have Danny DeVito, who plays Dr. Larry Arbogast. Then we have Emma Thompson, who plays Dr. Diana Redden. Frank Langella, the villain, Noah Baines, and this is after he did Masters of the Universe, where he played Skeletor as the villain. We have Pamela Reed, who plays Angela. That is Arbogast's ex-wife. That's Danny DeVito's ex-wife. And if you aren't familiar with who she was in Kindergarten Cop with Arnold as his partner, right, who was originally supposed to be the teacher, but got real ill and couldn't do it, so Arnold had to step in. And here was something that actually surprised me when I went back and watched the movie. Christopher Meloni is in it.
That's the ticket.
What? Yeah. So I mean, it's a little bit part, but it's just one of the movies he did on his way up to securing the role on Law and Order SVU, right? But man, just it was fun to see him. So young, so young. But yeah, so movie is just it's full of great scenes, right? I mean, oh my God, it's full of them. So so of course, with Arnold being pregnant, he's gonna go through a huge range of emotions, right? One of the emotions that he goes through is that whole daddy's little girl scene.
What's the matter?
She was daddy's little girl. Now he's giving her away.
Right? Oh my gosh. It's such a funny moment. There's great times where, a man has to experience morning sickness.
I'm freezing it.
Emma Thompson thinks that he has a substance abuse problem.
This is none of my business. But I can't help but notice the lethargy, the nausea, the little vials you keep leaving in the waste paper basket.
Yes.
Do you have a substance abuse problem?
Oh my God, it's a great awkward moment, right? But it's pretty funny. There is actually a funny scene when Arnold dresses up as a woman. He's going to this compound, right? He dresses up as a woman.
When I was a sportswoman on the East German Olympic track and field team, they dispensed anabolic steroids as freely as here in America they don't at Gatorade. Nothing was mentioned of the side effects that are now so obviously painfully apparent. But I'm all woman.
Believe you me.
So oftentimes, if you've ever been around pregnant women, and I'm not saying all pregnant women are like this, but a lot of pregnant women end up getting real self-conscious about their bodies, right? So Arnold has a great moment with Emma Thompson about his body, and it's such a great scene. It's just really funny. You gotta see it.
Does my body disgust you?
Like I said earlier, Arnold and DeVito have really great chemistry, and Pamela Reed, she's really funny. She gets kind of to the point on a lot of stuff, and there's a scene where they are caught. DeVito is caught touching his stomach.
What's going on?
Why, nothing. What?
You were touching him. Were you a twosome?
And it's it's a funny scene. You got to remember it's kind of conched in 1994, right, where homosexuality wasn't as accepted as it is today, so it was still kind of taboo. But it's it's a funny scene. But you know, in that whole deal, like the whole leading up to it, they have this healing moment, right, where where they have an argument, and oh man, you got to see it. It's it's really funny.
Now take that back.
That was a Freudian slip. I know you're not a woman.
No, the part about it should have ended it.
Okay, I take it back.
No, like you mean it.
All right, Junior, I'm sorry. I take it back.
Come, feel it. Come here. We need a healing experience anyway.
But oh man, it's I don't know. I just the movie's funny. The movie's funny. Arnold goes through those emotions. There's what was it? So at the end, they talk about having another baby because Emma Thompson is pregnant, right? So Arnold's already had the baby. Emma Thompson's pregnant now because they end up together, right? Oh yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't seen a 1994 movie. Danny DeVito and his wife, they end up getting back together, right? And she obviously has given birth already, and they're discussing, oh, you should have another baby. And
You have to have another, though, Angela. Jake needs a little brother or a sister.
Doesn't necessarily have to be you.
Oh, no.
it's just Arnold's suggestion in there is just great. It's just great. If you haven't seen Junior, despite me kind of just spoiling the movie, I guess I should have told you that up front. This movie or this podcast should really be called "Hey, Redeeming Bad Movies and Spoiling Them," right? Because I'm just gonna give you everything there is, but there is just it's full of just great stuff. You should really see the you should really see the movie. Man, it's just really funny. It's definitely out of all the movies that I've done, this one seems to be the most offending in the sense of why is it so low, right? So I've tried to reason it out logically. What was happening in 1994 that prevented it? Were people did people not think Arnold could carry it? He was in True Lies that same year, so maybe because True Lies had come out previous to this one. So did they watch that movie and just say he's too macho to be there? I don't know. I don't know why it still holds that low of a rating, because if you go back and watch it, it's great. It's just a great movie. I highly recommend it. It's it's just funny. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. Sadly, the DVD does not have director's commentary. That would have been great to hear Ivan Reitman go on about it. It does have some bio stuff on there, but you know, it's not stuff that we don't already know, right? Because that was 23 years ago now. So, whew, that's a long time. It's a long time. So go watch it. Laugh as much as I did. Please, you know, if you can, it's a great movie, right? Man, if you can. That just sounded like I was being kind of arrogant there, didn't it? Oh, laugh if you can. No, you'll laugh at this movie. There's bound to be something that you'll laugh at. But anyway, I highly recommend it. Go watch it. Junior, 1994. IMDb rating 4.6. Arnold, I don't even have to say a last name. Danny DeVito. Emma Thompson. Frank Langella. Pamela Reed, may or may not know her. Christopher Meloni, who's in the movie all of about 3 minutes. And then, of course, directed by Ivan Reitman, who most people know from Ghostbusters, most likely. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Definitely watch it, stream it, hit me on Twitter, tell me, hey, the podcast is great, or tell me, hey, it stinks, it sucks, I hate it, whatever. I'm open to any kind of feedback. I just want to hear from you guys. You can also hit me on redeemingbadmovies@gmail.com, and make sure you go out and rate. You can rate it on iTunes. Yeah. Of course, just like all the other podcasters do. Oh, make sure you give me 5 stars, man. It really helps get me out there, and stuff like that. But for real, if you like it, rate it.
What's wrong with you?
Sympathy pains.